Hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm originally from Dallas, Texas. Grew up in Texas, lived in Florida for about 15 years before moving to Colorado 7 years ago. I grew up Southern Baptist, and I like to say we were pretty much in church every time the doors were open.
Hi, I'm Kevin. I grew up in Central Florida. We moved to Colorado in 2016. Our background was Methodist and Baptist. However, we weren't really active participating in church. It's really non-practicing. And borderline agnostic, really, until we came to Front Range in 2018. January of 2018, I hit bottom of depression, just in a really, really dark place. Suicidal thoughts, the thoughts of, well, really, everyone else's life might be better if I wasn't here type thoughts. The one thing that I was missing was hope. And you don't realize that you're hopeless until you feel like you're in a hopeless world.
We kind of had a real serious sit down where I said, there's some things that I think you have to do and some things I think you need to do. And one of the things that I said you really need to do is go to church with me.
I started coming to Front Range, and I went to therapy and changed some medications, and started really working on my mental health. And over a really quick period of time, within 3 to 4 weeks, I started finding the hope and the joy and creating a relationship with Jesus, and went through a really great process with the Front Range steps in regards to joining community groups and being a part of the overall volunteering and community of church, and tithing and giving. And throughout that process, in a very quick period of time, I committed my life to God and Jesus, and everything else has really been so much easier and better since that day. The first time we were back at church, and I was able to get baptized as soon as they had them.
I felt like my heart was gonna explode, just pure joy and happiness to know that we'd spend eternity together. I watched and I cried, but I also looked around at so many people who I know had a hand in it because God put them there.
The church that I was raised in, and really more my family upbringing, was more around fear, right? To fear God, to always be afraid of whatever I was doing was going to be a disappointment to God. I'm obviously kind of the long-haired, hippie-looking individual. I thought that I would be judged the moment that I would walk into a church, that I didn't fit the church-going profile. And the beautiful thing was coming to Front Range and just didn't feel at all judged. And for me, it was absolutely huge, right? I wasn't gonna be judged in our church. Never felt like I have been judged, other than people giving me smiles and hugs, and just glad that I'm there. And that if I'm being judged on that, that's pretty cool.
We had been attending regularly for not that long, probably four to 6 weeks. And it was the generosity sermon. When I grew up in church, you always knew when it was coming. And so there was the sermon, and Ernest said, it's the only time in the Bible that God says, test me, when he talks about tithing. It's the only time he says, test me. And I'll never forget, Ernest said, we want you to test us. If you tithe for, I think he said 90 days, and you're not blessed, then come let us know and we'll give you your money back. I
said, yeah, this is a money back guarantee, I think was actually the words that he used. I'm like, so we'll see how this goes. And it was instant. In all honesty, the Holy Spirit started moving through in ways in our lives that I never would have realized, whether it be of us meeting people, getting way more involved in our community. Both businesses really started to take off, and doors started opening. God just started working through our lives at an amazing pace, and there was burning bushes everywhere when it came to any decisions that we were making, financial decisions, spiritual decisions.
When you're able to trust God with your finances and make that step, and then you see that he comes through, he does what he says, and it just deepens that level of faith and trust so much.
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.